The beginning of this week's Torah portion describes the sudden deaths of Nadav and Avihu, Aaron's eldest two sons, who were struck down by God in the tabernacle on the very day of its consecration, and the day of their own consecration as priests. We're told that Nadav and Avihu sinned by bringing a strange fire into the tabernacle, that they deviated in some critical way from the set order of the service. But the 17th century Polish rabbi Shlomo Lunchitz, author of the commentary Kli Yakar, explains that they actually had executed the service precisely. Rather, their sin was failing to wash their hands and feet before beginning. Because of this seemingly minor violation, the fire they brought was considered as though it was strange or wholly unauthorized. There's a larger point here. The tabernacle, later the temple in Jerusalem, was almost an otherworldly environment where God's unalloyed will was manifest and realized without compromise, adaptation, concession, or modification. By not scrubbing off everything connected to the outside world before entering those sacred, rarefied grounds, by bringing something of their outside lives, even the dust on their feet, into the service, they actually had undermined what that service truly represented. Aaron's response to the tragic loss of his two sons was silence, pulled between his twin roles as a father, sensitive to the idiosyncrasies and individualities of his children, and as the high priest, custodian of the tabernacle and its austere, unchangeable service. He simply could not say anything. Even worse, without his beloved children, there was nobody worth saying anything to. In this spirit, the popular 1840 podcast recently hosted a conversation featuring Rabbi Menachem Penner, Dean of Yeshiva University's Rabbi Isaac Elchanan Theological Seminary, and his son Gedalia, who came out as gay as a young teenager. Though still committed to Jewish life and Jewish leadership, Gedalia, who currently studies for the cantorate, no longer lives within an Orthodox milieu. Their conversation tenderly, yet powerfully, charted their relationship as it developed over the years, both on its own terms and in terms of Rabbi Penner's leadership role in the American Orthodox community. A synagogue is called a mikdash ma'at, a holy temple in miniature, with liturgy and services fashioned to evoke the majesty, the mystery of the original. In our synagogues, in our sacred communities, God's presence is less manifest. God's will is less unambiguous. But at the same time, and perhaps consequently, we also feel freer to bring aspects of our own lives, our own personalities, into our less sacred sanctuaries. But which aspects and how much of them? Our challenge is not facing the terrible all or nothing that Aaron and his sons confronted. We don't fear being struck dead at the slightest deviation. Rather, our challenges are about navigating painful balances in a fraught world. Our world may be complicated, may even be messy, but as the Penners taught us, at least as opposed to Aaron, we retain the ability to talk about it, but only so long as we keep our relationships strong enough so that there is somebody to be speaking to. Shabbat Shalom.